So what's going on, everybody? Frank Valkyria here. Let's dive straight into this new video. And yes, we got some breaking news here. Amber H has set her 16 points grant for appeal. So you know this was happening. We got some documents that we can read through. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm gonna try to do my best to understand what the hell is happening. Every step of the way here is gonna take time. That's my understanding so far. And appeal basically is just another word in this case to trying to find whatever loophole of the conduct of the trial to make sure that everything was carried out following the law, and trying to see if in fact there was something that was not done according to law that can be leveraged to basically revert the verdict, or at least nullify it. I don't know exactly how that works, but I understand the appeal process in that way, at least the basics. So according to the document obtained by Vanity Fair, the grounds for appeal include everything from lack of clear and convincing evidence for actual malice, the standard whereby defamation cases are decided, to the trial court's failure to invalidate the damage that the jury assigned after it found both H and Depp had defamed each other, an inherently and irreconcilably inconsistent thing. So we got some document right here. So this is in the Court of Appeals of Virginia, appellant designation of assignment of error. Like I was saying, I suppose it means they're going to describe whether or not there were error carried out in the trial. Comes now appellant Amber Laura H by counsel and designates the following as her assignment of error pursuant blah 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 blah. The trial court erred in declining to dismiss the action on the ground of forum not convenience. The trial court made a mistake, or was wrong in denying the supplemental plea in bar and in ruling that the November 2, 2020 judgment of the United Kingdom High Court of Justice Queen blah 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 does not foreclose Mr. Depp claims. So they're trying to use again the UK trial, even though there was a libel case against a magazine, but as you can see here, they're trying to leverage that to make their point. The trial court erred in denying the demurrer and plea in bar and in ruling as a matter of law that the three allegedly defamatory statements in the challenged op-ed are actionable as statements of fact rather than non-actionable expression of opinion, and actionable as defamation by implication. And here we go. I suppose here we go into the free speech category here. The trial court erred in excluding from evidence at trial the November 2, 2020 judgment of the UK Kingdom High Court blah 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 blah. The trial court erred in excluding from evidence at trial and medical records including Mrs. H contemporaneous communication with medical providers such as Dr. Laura Anderson, Dr. David Keeper, Mrs. Debbie Lloyd, Mrs. Erin Falatib, Dr. Emmy Banks, Dr. Connell Cowan, and Dr. Bonnie Jacobs. Mr. Hurd's communication with several third parties including Mrs. Depp's employees and Mrs. Hurd's employees, friends, and family about interaction with Mrs. Depp, including reports of drug use, aggressive and abusive physical abuse. Wow. Again, they're trying to really negate the trial here, alleging that they have all kinds of proof that which were not allowed to be brought into the trial. And amazingly enough, the first thing that comes to mind to me is the fact that the forensic, the people doing the forensic extraction of files from her phones had a lot of trouble doing so, and she didn't bring in timely manner those devices. And we also don't know if she brought in all the devices. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. Yet she alleges again mountains of evidence which were not brought in. Go figure. The trial court erred in admitting evidence at trial related to Miss H pledged to donate money to charity and evidence related to Miss H alleged abuse of third parties. This is fascinating. Now they're pissed off that the word find out that actually she told everybody that she gave the money, but in fact, we find out that wasn't true, and they're pissed off about this. So, again, in these statements, I read so much more. The trial court erred in excluding evidence of trial of Mrs. Depp's reputation as it existed prior to publication in the challenged op-ed and after the op-ed was published. Again, trying to re-argue the fact that his reputation was bad before the op-ed, which wasn't true. And also, thank God for those audio files, really. Thank God for those audio files, because she started to defame him the moment she accused him of stuff that he didn't do. And yeah, let's talk about that. And honestly, this stuff, this stuff alone calls for another lawsuit. Or it could. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I'm thinking like, you know what? You keep saying the same stuff. The trial court erred in allowing Mr. Depp to argue or suggest at the trial that the jury could award damages based on statement or conduct occurring prior to the publication of the challenged op-ed. Well, I think that the jury actually made up their mind thanks to her deposition. Honestly, like somebody said, I was reading a post somewhere that Amber H was actually the best witness Johnny Depp had in the whole trial. And it's true. The trial court erred in allowing Mr. Depp in argue or suggest that the trial and the jury consider whether the allegedly defamatory statement in the challenged op-ed were republication of statement Ms. Heard made in 2016 in connection with the domestic violence area. You know what? Also this part, there is an email, an exchange with the ACLU where they talk about changing the wording because it referred too directly to Johnny Depp. So the ACLU helped her in changing the article so that it was more generic, and there was this interaction that it's actually out there, leaked. You can see it. I can see it. Again, trying to make stuff up. The trial court, which rejected proposed jury instruction, CC improperly instructed the jury on actual malice. I don't know exactly on this, but I think all of those points, you know what? I'm thinking another judge or whoever is gonna look into this, I suppose, another judge, I suppose, it's gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad, The trial court erred in denying the motion to strike and set aside the jury verdict with regard to Mr. Depp's failure to prove publication by Mrs. Heard of her statement that spoke against blah 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 blah. She reposted on Twitter, so that she knew what they were doing. And again, connected with that email that actually clarifies that it was for Johnny Depp. And even, come on. There is literally on the stand that she's saying that's why I wrote the op-ed referring to Johnny Depp. Don't take my word. Go check it. Make up your own mind. It's right there. The trial court erred in denying the motion to strike and set aside the jury verdict with regard to Mr. Depp's failure to prove actual malice by clear and convincing evidence. He had way more evidence. And I suppose if all the evidence that the forensic the forensic team didn't manage to extract from her devices, probably we would have much more. You know what? At this point, I really hope that Jessica Krause, Reed, Gia, they come forward with more stuff of that period. Oh man, lovely. Would be lovely to see that type of karma happening. The trial court erred in denying the motion to set aside the jury's verdict and upholding the amount of the jury damages award in light of Mr. Depp's failure to prove pecuniary damages and B, the excessiveness of the compensatory and punitive damages awards. They don't want to pay. So guys, I honestly, reading this, I think another judge in the US, male or female, is going to get pissed is gonna get pissed, and if YouTubers, the YouTube lawyers are right out there stating that, or at least sharing their opinion in regards the fact that Judge Azzacarte carried out this trial in the best way possible and absolutely in a fair manner, so probably none of those points, none of those 16 points will be considered to be true, and therefore most likely be rejected. Again, I'm not a specialist. I would really love to go through this with the lawyer, and we can discuss this maybe in a live. So guys, what do you think about this? Another step forward, and honestly, I look forward for this appeal to be rejected, to put another nail on the coffin, because those people really don't seem to be able to understand. But then again, of course, you can argue on the other side that this is normal procedure. This is what has to happen in those cases. But, you know, we will see. We will see how long it takes. I think they have to file in some of the papers I was reading, and the time frame is the 4th of November, if I remember correctly. So I suppose another step should be in the beginning of November. So guys, always spread love. Please consider subscribing. I talk to you later. Ciao.